is you telling me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You were tuned in to Throw the Hook podcast, man. Episode 23. It's your boy G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. I got everybody favorite OG in the building, man. Boxing first vlog is here, man. What's going on, big bro?
Oh man, just trying to stay on the helmets of some of these wicked posters in these boxing streets. That's all.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. And we got Ty Finney, the legend, aka In This Corner podcast in the building, man. What's going on, bro?
Salute, man. Didn't have the best day at work today, but keeping my head held high, here to talk boxing. This is what we do, this is what we love. Glad to be on.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? We got so much to cover, with boxing. Is right now it's just it's no days off. No days off. It's always something going on. Just to give you guys a little bit of a kind of a little schedule on how we're gonna get down today. Virgil Ortiz lost a lawsuit to Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy, so we're gonna get into that. We're going to also get into a possible Devin Haney versus Rolly Romero fight that could be going down May 30th at the Barclays Center. So that's something else to talk about. We're definitely going to get into the Navarette Nunez fight and what's next for Navarette. The Tamir Smalls versus Abel Ramos result. That seems to be a hot topic in the streets right now. And Fernando Vargas' son, Emiliano Vargas, got a victory on Saturday as well. And we can get into, whether he's ready for some top 10 action or top 15 action at 140 pounds. So we got a lot to cover. So, y'all know the routine. If you come in here, say what's up and, let them know we sounding good and all that. But let's get into this Virgil Ortiz and Golden Boy situation. They had a court case today, and Golden Boy ended up winning the case. So essentially, to make a long story short, this is what the court case was. Virgil Ortiz and his team is not allowed to negotiate with any third party about any future contracts or any future fights. They cannot get a third party involved, which means they can't get Eddie Hearn involved. They can't get DAZN involved. They can't negotiate any fights with Boots or anybody else until this situation is settled. Now, Vlog, I'm going to go to you first on this. How long do you think Virgil Ortiz is going to be on the sidelines?
6 months minimum. We're dealing with the courts, judges. You know how long they take. Just look at the appeal process in itself. That takes a minute. And that's basically what this is boiling down to. It's an appeal process. You're appealing to the judge's way of thinking in this particular situation. And that takes a minute. These dudes have other cases in front of them that they're working on. No judge is jumping on this and doing this for a week straight as far as reading through all the reports and whatever. You know what I mean? They're not going to do that. This is going to take time because a judge is basically being fed information. So he has to make sure all that information is gathered properly before it's even given to him. So all this is going to take time, man. That's why I said 6 months. So I think he won't even be a factor for a minute because he's going to have to, at least after that, take a cupcake type of get back in the game type of fight.
Yeah, I agree. Ty Finney, how long do you think Virgil Ortiz is going to be on the sidelines since he's basically caught in litigation?
Yeah, I agree with Vlog. I think it's going to take some time, But I hope they can get it resolved quickly because Virgil Ortiz, he's had some inactivity in the past. The situation with him and Stan Jonas, they both had their situations. And, he's coming off that early stoppage against Lubin. So we don't want this guy to have inactivity. His name is popping. His name's been popping, after that stoppage. Boots got his stoppage. So, the fans want that fight. And if we don't get that, we want to see Virgil back in there with somebody else. So, yeah, I hope they can get it resolved quickly because, Virgil Ortiz, he's a silent fighter.
Yeah. I would say definitely I'm going to go on the longer side in terms of how long he's going to be out. I think he's going to be out at least a year. We have to remember more than likely whoever's the judge in the case probably is not a boxing fan. So he don't care about Oscar De La Hoya. He don't care about Virgil Ortiz. He don't care about the ramifications. It's just another case that's on the docket. You know what I'm saying? And their caseload is absolutely crazy. So I think the best chance they have to resolve this situation is to settle out of court. I think that's the best thing for both parties to do. And I think Oscar De La Hoya has incentive just as much as Ortiz. Ortiz wants to fight. And with Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy probably doesn't get a DAZN deal without Virgil Ortiz. So they still haven't signed a new contract with DAZN. So I think they need to get in the room, order some food and figure it out because nobody's doing any good on the sideline. But with that being said, now we have to look at Jerron Boots Ennis. Boots is supposed to be the opponent for Virgil Ortiz. Looks like Ortiz is going to be on the sideline for a little bit. And also with Boots, it looks like Josh Kelly is going to be allowed an interim fight or a voluntary first before a possible Boots fight. And Xander Zayas is going to be allowed to have an interim fight as well before taking on a possible Boots. So Boots Ennis is kind of, on the outside looking in a sense, in terms of opponents. So not getting too political and what can or can't happen based off of sanctioning bodies and things like that. We don't want to lose too many people, that's listening. Vlog, who are some names at 154 pounds that you would like Boots to face and it's kind of realistic?
There's only one. It's Jermell Charlo. Because as you just said, Boots is on the outside looking in. Who else is on the outside looking in? And we talking about two guys that still want to get paid. So you can't kind of keep getting paid off the Lima type of guy. So it's gonna have to be, you're gonna have to have a dance partner that's familiar as you are. So I think that's the only route to go.
Okay. Ty Finney, what you thinking on that? Is there any 154 pounders you want to see Boots fight while he's kind of waiting for the champions and waiting for Ortiz?
I was gonna say Mel too, but to me, it's not as realistic. Mel has been throwing shots, popping a little bit of lip, but he's also been an actor for a long time. So does he really want to take on the Boots? Coming off the layoff he's been in and, just getting back into the division. So, Boots is a power puncher. Does he really want to get in there and, take that route, coming off that layoff? So, to me, it's not 100% realistic, but I'm entertained if it happens because Mel is one of my favorite fighters.
Yeah, that's a good point. Mel been out the ring for a minute. I know another thing that could be an issue and nobody's really talking about is we don't know where Mel at as far as weight. When you out for a while, you're going to gain some weight. He's a little bit older in age. I think he's 34. Is he 34, 35 now? Mel. So, shedding them pounds is going to be a little more difficult to do. When he said he was returning at 154, I was kind of surprised because he's been out for so long. I was thinking he might have, at least went up to 160 and been at middleweight. But Ty, that's a good point, though. That's absolutely a good point. You know, we don't know what's going to happen as far as Mel for him to be out that long, and then you got to look across the ring and see Boots Ennis. That's a hell of a task. You know what I'm saying? That is a hell of a task. I'm gonna run a couple names by you guys. You let me know
real quick. He did ask for it, so if it happens, he asked for it.
Facts. That's a fact. That's definitely a fact. I'm gonna run two names past y'all. Y'all let me know if y'all got a problem with the fight. If they say Boots Madrimov next, would you have a problem with it? No problems, vlog? No.
Nah, no problem with me. No problem with me at all. Because like I said, Madrimov, even though he lost to Kelly, he still had that inactivity. So I don't want to see him have another period of inactivity. I do think that fight would kind of end up like Boots and Ramon Villa. I think it ends like that. I think Boots would get a stoppage. Madrimov kind of reminds me of he's too slow. He's too slow for Boots, man. And I think Boots will get a late stop. I think he's just going to clip him, all night, and then bam, bang it out with a late stoppage. I can definitely see that happening.
Okay.
I like the fight based on timing wise. Madrimov recently having a fight late 2025. And as far as what it means, it actually would mean something because again, you're talking about a former world champion. You're talking about a guy that went 12 rounds with one of the pound for pound greatest of all time. So, and in my estimation, I'm not going to fraud. I thought at worst that was a draw. If not, he pulled that fight out. And I'm being honest to God on that one, bro. That was a very close fight. You got to remember what he did to that eye. Ain't nobody else did nothing to that eye like that. You know what I mean? So that eye got dotted. That being said, though, I think it would be a great fight for Boots. As far as being a better name, I still like the Charlo name. Obviously, it's been a more accomplished name in the division, obviously, but still rating the names, one that's A and B, and those are two great names for him. But B being more practical of a fight, obviously, as we talking about with the Charlo layoff and things like that. So I do like that name a lot better. What's your second name, Jeff?
Second name. Do not kill me for this name, but I've heard this name is floating around as a possible opponent for Boots. Rashidi Ellis.
I don't like it because this a guy he was just over there in that tag team boxing, bro. It's you know what I mean? A respectable fighter, no doubt about it. Very skilled guy. Is he top tier though? You know what I mean? I like Madrimov better. I like Charlo better. Even with the layoff, I still like the Charlo fight better. I just don't think Rashidi is going to go after Boots like that. So I don't think that'll be an entertaining fight in that aspect.
Okay. Todd, what you thinking on that? Would you be cool with a Rashidi Ellis fight, or you passing on that?
I'll pass, man. I think Rashidi, he pity passes shots too much, and that's not those shots ain't gonna hurt Boots. You know what I mean?
See,
Boots gonna walk right through that pity patch stuff. That stuff is not gonna affect him. And I meant to say, when you said Madrimov, man, I was thinking of Martin Zelli, so my bad on that. But I will take that fight though. I think it's an entertaining fight.
Well, the thing is, that was the third name I was going to mention. Bakram.
Yeah, so
Bakram. So you okay with a Bakram fight too?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what when you said Madrimov, I got confused with Bakram. But I think Bakram would end up like Ramon Villa. I just think he's too slow. And I think he gets stopped late. Now Madrimov, I think that's a more entertaining fight. I think Madrimov would bring it. Okay. And he could make Boots show more elements to his game. But I think Bakram is an easy fight. I think he's just too slow for Boots.
Are you okay with a Bakram fight, vlog?
As far as A highlight reel, yeah. You know what I mean? I definitely like it on that aspect. But as far as rating Majimov against Boots, his bag ain't deep enough, bro. He's offensive, but you talking just a straight right. He might slip an uppercut in there. He's not offensively deep enough. He did some great movement against Crawford, but I think you gotta have a higher punch selection to be effective against a guy like Boots. You gotta be able to basically throw everything.
Okay. So Eddie Hearn and Boots, they got a lot of work to do, you know, in terms of getting back in the ring. But for all of the Boots fans, I think y'all are gonna have to understand, like, Boots' next 2 fights or so is probably not going to be the fights that you want to see. You know, obviously you want to see the Virgil Ortiz fight. You want to see the Josh Kelly fight. You want to see the Xander Zayas fight. I don't think Boots is going to get any of them names in his next 2 fights, unfortunately, because it's a lot of tap dancing going on right now at 154 pounds, because Boots is pretty much free to do whatever he needs to do, and these champions are not. Nobody's getting in line saying, I want that guy. I want Boots. Like, nobody's saying that. You understand what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting to see how things work out with that. But moving on, we definitely have to talk about the news that came out today that we might be looking at a Devin Haney versus Rolly Romero unification fight, May 30th, Barclays Center. Ty, I'm going to start with you. How do you feel about a possible Devin Haney, Rolly Romero fight? And would you rather see the rematch with Ryan Garcia first before that?
I personally, I'd rather just see Devin and Ryan, but I'll take the fight. You said Barclays Center, New York.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fireworks. Rolly's the guy. He's going to come forward. He's going to bring it. But I think Haney is he's levels above Rolly. His footwork, his speed. So I think this is easy work for Haney. But like I said, I entertain it. Rolly's a champion, and he knows what's at stake. You know, like you said, Barclays Center. He's gonna have to bring his A game. But I don't see him winning that fight. But of course, you know, like you said, Ryan, that's the fight. I think Devin really needs to get that back. But I know they're gonna want testing. I know Bill's gonna be giving his 1-2s about everything. So I think right now, I think it's more realistic for Rolly and Devin, because I think it's just going to be too many stipulations with him. You know, Devin Ryan trying to make that rematch happen. So I'm cool. I'm cool with Rolly. I'm cool with that.
Okay. Vlog, how do you feel about a possible Haney versus Rolly Romero fight? And are you okay with that fight going down first before he gets some get back against Ryan Garcia?
Well, if you follow the channel, I did a quick little video on this championship crossroads that we at welterweight. And I actually like this fight better because if you really look at the Devin Haney Garcia situation, he not ready right now. The first fight, he came into that fight with no intentions on winning that fight. That fight had nothing to do with legacy, anything. He came in overweight on purpose. He came in off the elemental space juice from whatever Nova station that they got posted out there in the outer limits. This was, I'm just saying, bro, this was all done on purpose. Now you're in a situation where you kind of putting it out there like you want to fight, but if you wanted to fight, then you would set yourself up as far as lining up the proper fights to get you ready for that fight. And to make that fight the biggest fight currently in boxing, I would think you needed to be undisputed. That's what I believe. That fight to me right now is an okay fight just because it's a rematch. And the little the kind of racial stuff that he was doing and all that, get your get back and all of that. I think it could be bigger and help his legacy more if he actually went the route to achieve the other belt, go over to London, take that fight with Crocker, you know what I mean, or the winner of Paro Crocker over there, go over there and do it, or go to Paro's backyard in Australia and do it. Show that you're truly a world guy. Rebuild yourself through the process. Stop like acting like you want that smoke and you believed in yourself going into that fight when all your actions showed you didn't believe in yourself. You just got lucky and landed some left hooks. But you were obviously more heavy-handed than your opponent because you was on, you know, I don't know. I can't call it Ostarine. I think it was something else, bro. It was like some, I mean, Jamba Juice mixture type shit, bro. Because I'm just, but no, in all seriously, I think he is in a position where he actually can fix his legacy. He already took one step, grabbed one of the, you know, worthless belts, you know what I'm saying, as far as the WBC is concerned. Now, use that momentum, take a tough fight, or call out the other champion to set up the biggest fight in boxing currently. Like I think it could be bigger than Canelo versus Crawford if it's set up right. If Ryan Garcia continues to prove that wasn't a one fluke thing against Barrios. I don't think you're gonna come back and do that against Devin at this point. Because actually you didn't look that strong. I'm just being honest. He didn't look that strong at 147. Did he get a fluke knockdown? Yeah, that can happen. But he didn't sustain it. He didn't go after him and try to finish him because he knew it was a fluke knockdown. So I'm thinking continue to show that you can box. I'm giving you credit for that. I'm not going to sit here and fraud and act like you wasn't in there sticking and moving and doing what a boxer's supposed to do. You did that. Did you do it clean? We don't know. But if you continue to show I'm doing that and I am being clean and it's not all the out of the ring antics, drinking beer and all of this type of extracurricular stuff, rebuild your legacy, bro. They're giving your pops credit for being a okay trainer. Let's continue to build on that and make that a super fight for Undisputed. That's my what I believe should happen.
So I just want to make sure I got everything right. So the Haney Rolly fight, you're cool
Excellent.
with.
I'm loving it.
You would like for Ryan Garcia to go over to the UK and go get Crocker's belt, and then they go meet for Undisputed. Is that what I'm gathering?
Yes. Like let all of this build up, bro. It's a flame that's not going to go out. It doesn't have to happen right now, bro. You can make the flame even bigger. I'm saying. You walk in there with 2 straps and you earned them straps honestly. Mm-hmm. Oh, bro. Come on, bro. I can't even argue with you. And I dislike you as a person, as an individual. But as a boxer, if you do that, I got to give you kudos. And I got to say, I need to see that.
That's an interesting take. But I actually like it. I don't know if Ryan goes over to the UK to go get Crocker's belt. Crocker will probably had to come over here. But I'm okay with that too. He's a champion. He has the ability to travel just like Ryan does, and Ryan got the name. So Crocker will probably have to come over here. But I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that idea at all. Because I think a better situation for Haney, Ryan Garcia unification would be Haney, Ryan Garcia Undisputed. Then you're talking legacy. Now you're talking that might be one of the biggest fights, the biggest anticipated fights of the past 5 years at least, between storyline, the meaning of the fight, the belts that would be on the line, 147 supremacy. In an ideal world, that would be great, but I think it's possible. I think it's definitely possible. And Crocker is not being mentioned in this welterweight landscape, and he needs to be mentioned.
Well, right now, that's the problem. Right now, he got the hand situation. So the Paro fight and the timing of this kind of working out where it can happen sooner than later is kind of off because of him and the Paro. And like I said, if I'm Paro, if y'all check out my video, I told him stay pat. Just wait for that man to keep that ice on his hand and get that cast off or whatever he's going through in this process of healing. But I think that's a great fight within itself between them two gentlemen. And the winner, it should be on Ryan Garcia's radar. Should he take a fight in the meantime? Yes, that's why I'm screaming for an Abel Ramos type of fight. Show and prove. Show me that your boxing skills have always been what they are. You just was living the limelight of social media and being this uncrowned king that you say you are. That being said, bro, if you can do it in the ring and they manage you right, bro, it's all money for you anyway. You the A side in all these other situations. Then we can get back to that A side, B side argument.
Well,
if you're able to, no, I'm just saying, I'm gonna land real quick. If he, like I said, if he's able to go into that fight with 2 belts, Haney's able to do what he's supposed to do against Rolly. He goes into that fight with 2 belts. Then I do believe you could have an A side, B side argument. At this point in time, you cannot have an A side, B side argument because of your past performances. That is why you can't have that argument with a Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney fight currently.
The only thing that I think, as far as Ryan Garcia, if anything outside of a Crocker fight or whoever's the champion, who has the other belt, that's the only fight I would want to see Ryan Garcia take.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
But based on timing, should he sit out that long? Should he, you know what I mean? If you want to show and continue the timing and the boxing and what he performed against Barrios, you can't do that after an 8-month layoff to damn near to a year. You need to be right back in there within the next 6 months. If that has to put off put off another championship opportunity or try to realign yourself with another championship opportunity.
How long is Crocker out?
No estimation on time, but it's a hand situation. So I've had broken hands. I would say a minimum 4 to 6 weeks just for the heal up, just before you could start hitting again. So you're talking 3 months at minimum before that fight is reset. Probably summertime.
Big shout out to Luke West in the building, man. Said, yo, what's going on, Luke West? Said, what's good, folks, man? We just in here chopping it up, man. Ain't doing nothing crazy. You know what I mean? Just chopping it up. To be honest with you, if Devin Haney fights Rolly Romero May 30th, he wins against Rolly Romero, and Ryan Garcia has a choice of either waiting for Crocker, the Crocker situation to materialize and then try to make a fight with Crocker, or go into the Haney fight and just accept being the B side. If they do that towards the end of the year, he probably should just do that, because now you're looking into probably summer 2027 by the time Haney Ryan Garcia happens. If he waits for the Crocker situation, if he didn't have a hand injury, then that's something completely different. But we're talking hand injury, then he still has to fight. He still has to win, you know, and then he still has to fight Crocker, you know, possibly, which would be later on in the year. So you're pushing it back quite a bit.
That's why I said the buildup is still there. Early 2027, mid 2027 for that undisputed is a possibility if these fighters are staying on track with their contracted situations outside of the Paro Crocker fight. But even that fight can still fall in a realm to where it can end up part of the undisputed landscape as far as a unified bout with the winner for Ryan Garcia. But in the meantime, again, you want Ryan to stay sharp. Give me a name. Real quick, does the WBC have a mandatory?
Probably not yet, because he just fought.
No, I mean in general. No, hold up. No. In general, do they apply that mandatory to their?
All of them do. Yeah, all of them do. Yeah,
I mean,
but they're not. The question is whether they're going to enforce it. That's and you gotta remember we talking about the WBC here.
No, that's what I mean. I would feel like it's a voluntary, it's a cupcake. Like in that scenario, if that's something they could be like, oh, Ryan Garcia has a mandatory defense. It's more of a cupcake. Let's keep him active. Let's keep him in the loop of timing wise, so nobody has more of an advantage or nobody's more rusty or anything like that. That's why you have to make sure the in-between fights line up for the major fight. That's why I'm thinking he needs something in the meantime. That's why I was screaming for Abel Ramos. That's my guy from the backyard. Very deserved victory. You know what I mean? He got this past weekend.
Yeah. If I'm Ryan Garcia, I'm probably trying to steal the Rolly Romero fight from Devin Haney. Because if you're waiting for undisputed, a Crocker fight probably doesn't happen till possibly end of the year.
Rolly done already spoke on that. He said the man ain't had no words for him. He had out there calling out Shakur. Now he want to start throwing shots at Devin and all of that social media stuff he do with his cousin beat him, his other cousin, and all of that.
Who you talking about?
That's what Ryan Garcia is doing on social media. He's acting like he DM'd Devin Haney about setting up a fight when he's not really trying to set up a fight. So then he went back on there and did some, this is the day my cousin beat somebody, other cousin, some just more social media nonsense.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to that on this scale because I'm like, that fight is so big. I'm like, we talking management, we talking lawyers, we talking promoters and all that. So anything social media wise, a fight that big, I ain't really paying it no mind. But I don't.
But to me, but that leads me to my statement of deflection. Like you're doing that, like, I stepped to him as a deflection of that fight's not really a possibility. You know what I'm saying? Because if it was, if you're that guy that everybody believes he is, or a lot of his fans do, I'm not gonna say everybody, but a lot of his fans do, then he would have automatically called out Rolly. Called out Rolly.
Yeah, and everybody talks about like get back as far as like Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, but nobody's talking about Ryan Garcia getting get back against Rolly.
From Rolly. Exactly. Yeah. That's my point. My point. And Rolly done spoke on it. That's why Rolly stepped to Devin in them.
Yeah. So
and this is where we got to give Rolly the utmost respect. He ain't ducking no smoke. Matter of fact, he running to the smoke.
Let me I'm not gonna correct you, but I'm gonna add on to that. He's running towards the high paid smoke. As he's supposed to. But
at the same time, I think that Rolly Garcia or Ryan Garcia Rolly Romero rematch wouldn't be a slouch in the pockets either.
No. You talking about just like high pay?
Yeah, like the outcome, probably
get some bag. He gonna get a bag.
Yeah. So both fights are a bag for each fighter, for each fighter involved.
The difference between the Rolly Romero situation and Haney and Ryan is Rolly has a mandatory up. He has a mandatory on deck, so he has to get this unification together, or he's gonna have to fight his mandatory.
Which it makes no sense. So that's what I'm getting there. You have to give them proper respect for making the move that's more challenging. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, but it's added incentive when the sanctioning body's knocking on the door saying, "Hey, you need to handle this mandatory by a certain date."
Yeah, no doubt.
Get your feet moving a little faster.
But obviously, the sanctioning body is going to also support more of a unification than they would a mandatory, which is more of a payday for the sanctioning body.
Yeah, but that's why he's looking for the unification, because he don't have to fight the mandatory if he gets the unification at the trumpet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
for sure. Luke West, he said, I'm ready for this one-time Thurman versus Towering Inferno Fundora fight. More so, I'm not looking forward to it because I think Thurman ain't gonna last 5 rounds in that fight, me personally. Luke West said, see if Keith can get through the high output and range of Fundora to land a shot big enough to hurt him. If not, I don't see Thurman winning. And let me get through this last one. Luke West said that's because Rolly spanked Ryan like an out-of-pocket toddler. That's funny. That's funny. Luke West. So as far as Keith Thurman is concerned, and I think people are not. I think they kind of forgot about this. Keith Thurman don't like body shots, and Fundora ain't got no problem going after them ribs.
Now that's a fight.
It's gonna be some sweet baby rays thrown around. You know what I mean,
bro? That's a fight where it's gonna be like a cat chasing a mouse. I do not see Keith Thurman trying to step to Fundora at any point in that fight. Will he be forced to fight? I expect he will be forced to fight again. We ain't talking about a Keith Thurman from 8 years ago. He about a double OG in the game at this point. So fleet of foot Thurman, we will not see that Thurman for 10 rounds, 12 rounds. We might see that Thurman for 3-4 rounds. And then at some point, you know what I mean, the cat gonna corner the mouse and it might be curtains. Unless his tie-up game, real high level, elite status tie-up game, he got to be doing a lot of curls because he gonna be trying to hold on to that ball to keep that ball off of him, man. You know what I mean?
And the thing about that is Fundora he's not easy to hold. That's why Lubin ended up having the fate that he had, because every time he tried to tie Fundora up, he just wasn't having it. He wasn't having it. I don't think Thurman lasts long at all in this fight. Hey, Todd, what you think about the Fundora Thurman fight? You think Thurman got a shot?
I think he does. I think he does. Like Luke West said, well, Fundora has been hurt. We've seen him get hurt by Brian Mendoza, and that was a big shot. So who's saying that Thurman can't land something? I mean, Spots and he can land at any time. So don't say never say never.
But when
he can land something big.
But when is Thurman landing anything big, bro? Like when has he made an exclamation point like that in a fight? Like it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
And like his fight of the year with Sean Porter was like a decade ago now. That was like 2016. So that was a long time ago when he was looking phenomenal. But don't get me wrong, he looked good against Barrios, but like we all said that Barrios isn't the best looking champion out there. So that's a guy that's, you know, it's easy to look good against, but like you said, Fundora, this is a different game, man. This guy, he can box on the outside, he can train with you, bang with you on the inside, and like Jeff said, Thurman don't like body shots, so I can see Thurman using his footwork, but like you said, he's older now, so them legs might not last in this fight. So I like the fight. I know a lot of people don't like it, but the fact that it got pushed back again makes it bad. So just I don't know, man. I'm definitely leaning towards Fundora, though. I'm definitely leaning towards him.
It ain't no lean. I'm about to push the wall over on that. Ain't no lean.
Hey, Todd. The thing about it, like, this is why I'm not too interested in the fight. Of course, I'm gonna watch it, but what did Thurman do to actually get the shot? Like Thurman ain't even do nothing to get the shot. Like I feel like the fight is kind of like forced upon us. Like nobody asked for it. Now, can Thurman actually land something big? Yes, he can. But when is the last time Thurman done laid some, you know, he done laid a NyQuil shot on somebody? It's been a long time since he landed a NyQuil shot. He's gonna need a Mendoza type NyQuil shot against Fundora. Like we haven't seen that in a while though, Ty.
And that's the thing. You talking about if he do land something, is he going to be able to finish Fundora? Because we've seen Fundora come back from being hurt. And is Thurman ain't never been built for a true war like that. He's more of a boxer, and that's the sport. So I'm not mad at that style. But in this fight, there's no way in the world I could give him a chance with that style because of the physical matchup. It's going to be hard to box from the outside with a guy that's automatically longer than you. That's, in my estimation, punching harder than you. And you not cat quick. You not 23, 24 years old, fresh out the womb, bobbing and weaving and sliding back, counter punching. I don't even think he can rely on the counter punch game. He can't even catch and shoot. He could tie up and make it dirty, is, in my estimation, is the best he could do. Attempt some body shots of his own, maybe stick jab to the body, slide out the side door, maybe, I don't know. Tie up one hand overhands, because that's going to be a shot, that overhand when he close, because of the height of Fundora. That could be a type of punch he needs to be relying on. But as far as knockout punch, I don't see what shot he can get off. Unless Fundora literally dips and runs into something, like I said, like an overhand. If Fundora dips or so stationary that he catches something, but you talking about finishing too. I just don't see it.
Hey, Ty, real quick before we keep it moving. So Erickson Lubin had a lot of success against Fundora in that fight. Do you think Keith Thurman can even duplicate the success that Lubin had during his fight with Fundora? Do you think he can kind of duplicate that, like offensively?
I think he can. Be honest, I think he can. I mean, I don't think this is a mismatch. I mean, this fight's happening for a reason. They are the main event, so they have to see something in Thurman to put him in this position. Thurman has to see something in himself. He's not going to take this fight if he don't think he's going to win. So I'm giving him a shot. Like I said, you just never know in boxing. I've seen journeymen knock out undefeated fighters, and undefeated fighters never return to the sport. You just never know. So I'll give Thurman a legit shot. I'm leaning towards Fundora, but like you said, Vlau, he might can just catch Fundora with an overhand. You never know.
I say this. Now, you said he wouldn't take this fight unless he believes in himself. You'll take this fight if you owe Uncle Al. So, you know what I mean? You can be backed into a fight of Ryan Garcia. He got backed into that Haney fight by Dezan, by that contract he had with Dezan, and what they was at. Like, look, you either take this fight or we're not going to put you on the platform no more. So he was forced to take that fight. That's why he didn't care about coming in overweight and using that asteroid juice. That being said, this fight can be a fight that you could be like, yo, well, he owes them. You know what I mean? Did he fulfill his contract? He was one of the dudes that was so inactive when Spence was on his run. That's what was crazy. It's like, well, why is he not fighting? He didn't fight Ugas. He didn't fight Stan Jonas.
I'm with you, Vlog, on like his inactivity and all that. But like, let me ask you this. We talked about him earlier. Let's just say Thurman does win. Would you entertain Thurman versus Jamel Charlo?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm entertaining Jamel Charlo versus Fundora, but not coming out the gate. I think he has to have a boots fight, a non-title situation, but yet still a big event because he's a former undisputed. You can't kind of come back with a splash fight and a true cupcake. I can't see you fighting a dude that's 35 and 4. It won't look good in my estimation, especially a dude that's not coming off of some great type of run and he's built up his own name to a certain extent. I just don't see it. It'll be a great fight eventually, but right now it has to be a boots type of guy.
Fair enough. Luke West said Keith don't, but Fundora is open to getting chin checked. I mean, it's a possibility, you know. He said, I think Thurman has to be slick and try to find an opening, but Fundora has openings. Luke West, the thing about that is Mendoza had to stand. He stood in the pocket to get that shot off. Even when Lubin was landing, he stood in the pocket. He had to stand tall in the pocket and get them shots off. Fundora's so tall you can't even use your legs to get into the shots because you gotta reach them. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you standing straight up, damn near on your tippy toes and shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be another tough task. Luke West said no, Fundora is a handful for sure. I think he does because Fundora has always left himself open to get caught. Thurman beat Brock Jarvis up. Brock, nobody Jarvis. Yeah. It's because Thurman versus Zoo was set, and last moment Keith got hurt and pulled out. That fight was supposed to happen. I forgot about that. That fight was supposed to happen. So that's how Fundora got the shot to begin with, and he put Zoo down twice. So now Keith versus Fundora 3 years later. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an overcooked meal for sure. I think Thurman has the IQ to land better than Zoo or Lubin, but will it actually hurt Fundora? If not, then it's going to be an old dog beatdown. I anticipate an old dog beatdown. Go ahead, Flo.
What I was going to say real quick, I think as natural punchers, Lubin is just a natural harder puncher. He actually punches from the shoulders, from the hips. Thurman has more of a boxing style of flicking out of the shots, trying to drive the right hand instead of actually it's a shoulder punch, it's a hip shot. I've never really seen him sit down on anybody and really dig combinations out. He's more of a 3-punch combination type of guy. With Fundora is not going to be the first, may not be the second. It's going to be the third and fourth. That's going to actually be the ones. Can he sit still enough? Is he? I just don't think so, bro. His style doesn't say he's going to sit still. His age says at some point he will have to sit still. But by that point in the game, what's left in the tank as far as that particular fight, not him physically, but in that fight, what will he have left once he has to sit still and actually gun something out or fight his way out the corner?
Yeah. Like, let me ask you this, Flo. Do you?
Yeah.
I hate Thurman's inactivity. Like, I always compared him and Andre as far as their inactivities. Do you think this fight could possibly end up like a Benavidez Andre type situation? Do you think that Fundora could just batter him and get like a mid-round stoppage?
You talking about kind of like Benavidez, kind of like the Benavidez fight?
Benavidez and Andre. Do you think like it could just be like Thurman has some success, but Fundora, his strength, his reach just overpowers him, and it's just too much, and he gets stopped like in the middle rounds. I can see that happening too.
And then listen,
Fundora's not like a big puncher like Benavidez. I know it's different weights and all that though.
Right.
But no, Benavidez is a volume guy. Benavidez gets to you with volume the same way Fundora does, but obviously based on weight, we're going to say Benavidez is the harder puncher. That's just facts. That's science. That being said, we talking about Thurman, a dude that's older. Okay, less wear and tear, so that should present some sense of offense. But is your offense ever been pocket, ripping combinations, getting off to set up the money shot? He's never really been a guy that set you up for a money shot. Boxing IQ, I'm not going to say he's low tier. I think he maybe a C plus type of guy, maybe a B, but doing it physically is different than knowing it up here. That's where we at. Like, I trust me, I know how to box, but I know I ain't got 10 rounds in me. You know what I mean? Like, so he might be at that point, bro. I think he gets stopped, bro. It might be a corner stoppage. It might be a ref stoppage just to save him because he got a bit of cachet with the promotion. So they might, kind of keep an eye on it, keep it close. Let's not let him get toe up. You know what I mean? Because he's been a good dude for boxing. He's not a guy you would want to see his face kicked in. So, you know what I mean? I just think he does get it. Gets a TKO type of situation. But as far as, like he said, as far as the time off, it helps and hurts. That's what I could say. It does.
It does for sure. Luke West said, yeah, and Fundora lately using his range and reach better and better. I think it most likely be like the zoo fights. Keith gonna get overwhelmed. And yeah, man, 6'6" is giant for anything under 175. I think Keith Thurman is gonna be overwhelmed with the volume. And I don't think Keith Thurman is going to be able to throw anything to keep Fundora off of him. So Keith Thurman had some good legs about a good 4 or 5 years ago. He could move around the entire fight. And you really ain't had to worry about his stamina unless he was getting hit with some body shots. But, you know, he's older in age. He's not going to be moving around as much. So I think eventually Fundora gets to him. I told you, I don't think he lasts 6 rounds. I don't think he lasts 6 rounds. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be bad.
If he loses, does he need to ride off into the sunset?
I would say no, because he's outmatched. Like, I don't care how much Keith Thurman talks, he is outmatched in this fight. But there's other guys at 154 that he can fight, and he would just be in a different status. Just be in a different status.
Yeah, I went. It's like you said. Keith Thurman, Abel Ramos. I ain't mad at a fight like that. You know what I mean? Even if it's a non-title type of fight, or a fight that maybe get you an opportunity type of fight. You know what I mean? Because both of them being older guys, they're not battered older guys. You know what I mean? So if this fight doesn't devastate him physically, no, I don't think it's over for him.
Yeah, I don't think so neither. It's plenty of fights he can take. If he loses to Fundora, all that, like he calling the shots and getting premier fights, it might be over for him in regards to that.
All right, real quick, and then we can let this go. As an upset, where would you rank this? Rating it to a Douglas Tyson or any other fight in that realm. Upset, where would you rank it historically?
I wouldn't, if Keith Thurman was to pull off the upset, I wouldn't, I wouldn't take my shirt off and run down the street and shit. Like, you don't think it's big time? You don't think that's big time? It's a big upset, but in terms of like history, I wouldn't go that far. Because Fundora has shown some chinks in the armor, but it's a major upset. It's a major upset. Don't get me wrong. It's a major upset, for sure. And I would give him full credit. Full credit. Luke West said, but is willing to be a gatekeeper. He got too much pride to accept that, even if it's true, or this will be like Tio losing to Cambosis. Maybe not that big, but close. To be honest with you, that's a good question. If Thurman beats Fundora, is that a bigger upset than Cambosis over Tio?
Yeah. Yes, because of the physical matchup.
What you think, Ty?
Yeah, I think so. Like with Thurman's inactivity and all, like he's been through in his career. Yeah, I'll say so at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, I would actually have to agree. I think if Thurman pulls off the upset, I think it'll be bigger than Cambosis and Tio for sure. But let's get into these last topics before we get up out of here, man. Navarette got a huge victory over Nunez this past Saturday. Everybody favorite uncle, Abel Ramos, got a split decision victory over our Philly native Tamir Smalls, which is a hot topic in these streets right now. And the son of former great fighter Fernando Vargas, Emiliano Vargas, got a tough victory on Saturday as well. We'll get into Emiliano real quick and Navarrete at the end, but I really want to get into this Abel Ramos and Tamir Smalls. I want to get into the actual scorecards. The scorecards was cheeks. The scorecards was trash. I just sometimes these judges kind of just just had me scratching my head. Like somebody had a 98, 92 for Ramos. Like that's nasty work. Like that's nasty work, for sure. 8 rounds to 2 is like crazy. Um, 7-3. I think somebody had a 97, 93 Ramos. I thought that was crazy as well. Somebody had it 6-4 Tamir Smalls. They had it 96, 94. So that's 6 rounds to 4 for Smalls.
Bro, that's crazier than fucking 90, 92, 98, 92. There's no way in the world that man did anything the last 6 rounds that he won either one of them rounds by any margin, bro.
And yeah, and then I can also say Ramos clearly ain't win the first 4. He clearly
exactly.
That's why I said the 98, 92. They got it right. Unfortunately, they got it right because they picked the right guy, but the actual scorecards was cheap. Scorecards was trash, bro. Absolutely trash.
That is almost like pre-filled out type of shit. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, bro, did y'all have blindfolds on when y'all filled them out, bro? Like,
yeah. Big shout out to Jay Will, man. Jay Will in the building, man. So what up, fellas? Big shout out to you, Jay Will. Yeah, those scorecards was cheeks, man. It was really, really bad. But the question is now in the streets, and I'm part responsible for this question. Was it too early for Tamir Smalls to take on Abel Ramos at this point in his career? Vlog, I know we talked about this a little off camera, but what's your thoughts on that? Did you feel like it was a good time for Tamir to take on Abel Ramos, or you felt like he should have waited?
His age says no. Fight wise, maybe you want a guy like Abel around 19, 20. So a couple more fights, but based on maybe the opportunity, because you talking about a guy that's never gotten a stage such as what he was on. So the opportunity was something that couldn't been passed up. You understand what I'm saying? It was for a regional strap, probably his first opportunity there at that, or at least his biggest version of a regional strap that he's ever accomplished. And again, it's the lights. As far as the competition, you saying like Ramos being the OG, quote unquote, the gatekeeper, and we're not putting that tag on it because he just had a world title fight. People say he got robbed in. So as far as the you would maybe want a Ramos type of opponent that has maybe a couple more knockouts with those losses. So quite not a sturdy guy. See, because you look at them losses and you think cake work, you know what I mean? You think walk, you know what I mean? I'm just finna walk a dog right here. No, bro, that man only been stopped once. And that was a long, long time ago as far as what he's been able to do since in his last performance. So, bro, I wouldn't say it was too early, but just like I said, you talking about a dude that's 27, damn near 28 years old. Nah, you got to push the pace at this point. You got to push the pace. You got to test yourself and try to, run with that opportunity that was given to you. Did you perform well? I think you performed well enough to know there's something to work on. And we talking conditioning. I'm not even going to get into the X's and O's of punches thrown, position, this, that, and the third, distance, all of that. We just talking about one key factor. We talking about conditioning.
Yeah. Ty, I know you didn't catch the fight in regards to Tamir Smalls and Abel Ramos. Did you have any thoughts on that fight going in? Was that kind of the fight was on your radar?
No, I wasn't really on my radar, so I can't really speak too much on that one.
Okay, all right. As far as
bro, AZ, we got slapped in the face by Chavez Jr. But in all honesty, bro, this was a great card, a great representation of what this state could put on as far as big bouts, good competition, bro. This was, like Jeff said, bro, one of the best cards of the year, probably the best card of the year as far as action, name recognition. You know what I mean? Come on, bro.
Yeah, it was the card. It was for me. It was. I enjoyed this card the most out of any card this year. But not even close. The Tamir Smalls, April Ramos fight. Then you had the Emiliano Vargas and Augustin Quintana, which was another good fight. And then to cap it off with Navarette and Nunez, man, like it was some good action with that. As far as Tamir Smalls is concerned, I guess I'll answer my own question. I don't think it was too early. What I think happened is I think Abel Ramos exposed the truth on Tamir Smalls. And to be honest with you, sometimes a fight like this is going to make you a better fighter. And a couple of things that Tamir Smalls did not do in this fight. Number one, it looked like he just was unwilling to stand in the pocket to counterpunch. And I want to explain this to the people that watched the fight. When Abel Ramos was getting off those body shots, we always talk about this on the channel going back a couple years. You don't trade body shots for head shots. The thing about that is with Tamir Smalls, after round 4, he never really planted his feet to put some mustard on them shots to even give Abel Ramos something to think about. And for him to go through that for 6 straight rounds to where he's taking body shot after body shot and he doesn't sit down at least once and say, hey, I'm going to draw the line right here and we're going to meet right here and I'm going to throw mine. He didn't do that not once the last 6 rounds of the fight. He would throw maybe a pity pat jab or a pity pat hook and he'll run out the side door. You can't win. Bless you. You can't win a dog fight like that. You cannot win a dog fight like that. And that's what Abel Ramos exposed in regards to the holes that's in Tamir Smalls' game. As far as the age, yes, he had to take this fight. In terms of the point of his career, I felt like he had to take this fight. But I do think it's going to help him. But Tamir Smalls is going to have to fight some pressure fighters to get – he's going to have to get that style down because he's not going to be able to get in a championship contention or win a title at 147 without doing better with that style. And he came in 147 on the nose too, so he might be – I'm not saying he's struggling to make weight, but he's a tall, wiry guy at 147. So if you can't handle that at 147, imagine if he had to go up to 154. There's no way he's surviving that.
That's what we call a tweener type of guy, bro. And you know what I mean? Is he conditioned enough to make 140? What he showed me there, no. He don't even look like he can make 140 based on conditioning, being able to cut weight and still perform. So he's a tweener guy, bro. He got to really, I think, like I said, you got to concentrate on conditioning, and then you got to put a little bit of weight on that's easily knocked off and replaced after weigh-in. You know what I mean? A 5 to 7 pound muscle. You see what I mean? Like, okay, now it's time to go weigh in. We refuel, boom, that muscle right back. It's got to be something. It's got to be a game plan behind.
He looked good. He looked good during the weigh-in. He didn't look like weak or anything like that. Like his eyes wasn't sunken in. Like he looked good during the weigh-in for sure.
He just don't have muscle, bro. He need muscle.
He's just
that's what he's missing.
Like, and we've seen wiry guys that have a lot of power. You know, off top Tito Trinidad, he was a wiry guy, but had a lot of power. You know, so but
even he got muscular. As
yeah, but early,
yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, but the some of the wiry guys, some of the biggest punches in history were like wiry guys. You know what I'm saying? But the thing with Tamir is he just got to go back to the drawing board. He has to go back to the drawing board. And I know, Vlog, I know we talked about this off camera, but I want to bring it up on camera. I'm just putting 1 and 2 together. This is the second time we've seen a fighter out of that Bozian's gym that is doing a little too much movement, and either they're not showing you that they can clinch some of them old school tactics, get the referee to break you up. You get a couple of seconds where you're not moving and circling the ring so much. This is the second time we've seen this with the Philly fighter. You know,
you got little things like he coming at you, push off. As he's resetting to come forward, you can get off and get out, score. It's a lot of subtle things that could be added to that young dude's arsenal that I saw none of, that you usually see from a Philadelphia style guy. Like, they usually have a little bit of all the tricks that they use, whether some people look at it as being dirty or just part of boxing, and it has to be used to get through certain situations in the sport. So I again, like you said, back to the drawing board, bro. Not a revamp, but definitely being able to add tools. You got to be open to adding tools.
And for the people that's listening, just to make sure I'm clear, I'm talking about the Andy Cruz fight that he just had, where he did a lot of movement and he didn't do enough clinching, and I don't think he stood enough in the pocket. It was just too much moving. And Tamir Smalls did the exact same thing. And it looked kind of similar in terms of how they was, sneaking out the side door. And I mean, they're doing a complete circle around the ring. Like they look similar. Like you watch both of them fights, the circle out the side door, it looked very similar.
Hart did the same thing. I don't know what's going on in the city with this circle in the ring type of game plan, bro, but it's not working.
Yeah, I just like with Jesse, it was so much of a weight difference. I didn't give him any real flack for that, but I'm not used to seeing that from the guys from the city. I'm not used to seeing that, because usually, even if take a Boots, even if Boots go out the side door, he's immediately starting the process to walk forward or to meet you at a certain point. Like if you're an outside fighter, right, and you're sticking to your jab, you're a boxer, and you're running up against just a rough and rugged dude, you have to send that mental message, and you have to send a physical message too. Some points in the fight, you're going to have to stand there, and it's like, okay, I'm not moving off this spot. If we got to clinch, we got to clinch. I'm not moving off of this spot. I'm letting my 2 to 3 off. I'm letting these 2 to 3 shots off. You're going to stand here, you're going to take them. Watching Andy Cruz, watching Tamir Smalls, it seems like that element of their game wasn't on display. And the reason why they lost those fights on the judges' scorecards is because you're given the impression that you're not willing to engage at any point. That's the problem. I don't have a problem with moving. I don't have a problem with circling the ring. But when you do that 80% of the fight, 90% of the fight, that's the problem. And ultimately, this is who won the round. 10-9.
This is why I gave Bakaram the fight against Kelly. You see what I mean? That's the same thing you're talking about. If you're going to be outside and be aggressive when need be, when presented with the opportunity. Kelly did it in that fight a few times. Yes, he did. I'm not going to say he didn't. But in my estimation, he didn't do it enough to win that fight as far as taking somebody's title. And Bachman got robbed of some knockdowns, but that's neither here nor there. We just talk about that style of circling the ring. At some point, it has to start losing you rounds as far as the actual fight of boxing is concerned.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you: so who is Tamir Smalls' trainer? Is it Bozy or is it somebody else?
It's Bozy.
It's Bozy. Okay.
It's Bozy. And that's why I was making a comparison, because if you watch Andy Cruz versus Raymond Murataya, it was the same thing from the opening bell. Andy Cruz was on the outside, and he never really stood his ground during the fight, even though he landed some great work. He landed some great work.
Real quick, was Bozy in the corner in that fight?
Yes.
Okay. If for some reason it's not, I'm not picturing him.
I will say this: the camera really didn't get on Bozy and them in that fight.
I see. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to picture a time when he was literally giving advice in that fight.
They very rarely did they put the camera on Tamir Smalls in between rounds. Like, you seen Ramos in between rounds. You didn't see Tamir Smalls. So I can't even really say what kind of job Bozy did in the corner or what he was telling them. But it's kind of hard to tell a guy something when you see their legs is gone. Like, Tamir's legs was gone after round 7. After round 7, his legs was done.
But now we talking. Now you talked about Bozy's style and what has been presented with guys coming out that gym. I got to dig into the conditioning, because we can go back to Cool Boy Steph with weight and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not looking good, because conditioning is not only just being able to maintain your weight, it's actually how you maintaining your boxing style and what's the development going on in the fight. You know what I mean? Like, okay, he's bringing it to me. I got to rev up the engine, put some output. Maybe in the first 30 seconds of the next round, I'm going to take off. It's like guys are not adding that as part of the sport. Like, yo, you really have to adapt to that during the fight. He bringing it. I can't let him take it right now. I got to suck this up somehow, find this energy, and know that I can replenish it at other times in the fight. I'm not losing, you know what I mean, per se, giving away rounds to a certain extent. That gets into boxing IQ. We talking about coaching now. We talking about just conditioning and what a fighter's built like. Like it. I don't want to question Bozy and them, because they have the great boots and it's over there. But I'm wondering. That's all I can say. I'm wondering.
Yeah, it's definitely something to talk about. And the thing is, we have recent evidence of it. You know, the Andy Cruz fight. He didn't win that fight on the cards because he didn't sit down enough and he didn't clinch enough.
That's strategy. That's
strategy. And also with Tamir Smalls, it was the exact same thing. When Ramos was getting his shots off, Smalls was really throwing only 1 or 2 shots, but he was throwing the shots with the intent of getting out the side door so he can circle the ring. And I don't know if that's something that they're teaching at the Boziana's gym, or that's kind of like a new wrinkle to the Philly style. I don't know what it is, but I'm like, that will lose you a fight.
Everybody see Boots in that gym, and I think somehow they're like almost in their own way trying to implement the fluidness that Boots shows us in the ring, to being able to, okay, I'm stepping back, but I know I'm about to plant right here and get off. Like, it seems like they all trying in some way to do that, but they're not actually finishing up. Like, okay, I got off. Now let me rip these combinations, get out the side door, tie up, do the other stuff that's added with the sport, because maybe they not as naturally blessed as Boots, but because they're around that, you start kind of being like it. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you. And I agree with that assessment. Everybody's not Boots, you know, in that gym. And Andy Cruz is a talented fighter. Tamir Smalls is a talented fighter, but they might just have to get. There's no Abel Ramos type fighters in the city that's going to consistently come to that gym and test them dudes. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know if it's one of those situations where they might have to take some training on the road, or maybe start traveling out a little bit, you know, to get some different type of work. Because Philly take pride in boxing, and a lot of times Philly fighters will say, well, people are ducking us, I think they might have to start traveling out to get different types of smoke, as far as sparring and things like that. Hey, you might have to go to DC more often and get that smoke. You might have to go to Baltimore more often and get that smoke. Guys in the West Coast that's out in LA and all that, like, they got a bunch of dudes that's gonna go in there, chin down, and they coming to work. Might have to change up the atmosphere a little bit.
Hey, real quick. We talk. I know we gonna wrap this up, but I wanted to just ask you about future fights. Like Tahir Smalls, do you think he should dwell back in his category of contenders and prospects, like a Tiger Johnson, something like that? Like, should he be looking for something like that right now?
I don't even think he's ready for Tiger Johnson right now. I think Tiger Johnson would probably stop him. To be completely honest,
but what Tiger, like 18-0 or something like that? So I'm talking about record wise. Should he be back down in that bracket of fighters and looking for them type of matchups?
I would say so, but he kind of needs to. I think for him to like mentally move forward, I think he needs to fight another pressure guy and get over that. I think he needs to fight a pressure guy and get over it. And I'm trying to think of who he could fight.
He got pressed in back-to-back fights. He literally got pressed in the fight before this. The one I watched, and I thought he won because he did throw some counter punches, and it seemed like he was a bit more accurate than I've never looked up that dude's name after watching that fight. I can't remember it, but old boy performed well too, and he pressed Tahir in that fight. I thought Tahir withstood it, you know what I mean? But again, him getting pressed again, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know if he could deal with a boxer like that because he doesn't really have the speed. So it's interesting to see where his career goes. But
yeah,
you wanted to talk about you wanted to talk about Emmanuel Vargas.
I just got a simple question. You think he ready for top 10 action?
Tahir?
No. Emiliano Vargas.
No, because I got a guy for him that, to me, both of them, the winner of this fight would, in my estimation, tell me that they're possibly ready for the lower end of top tier. And this boy is from Colombia. This boy is getting ready to fight on the Canadian Dazan card coming up Thursday. Check for the morning breakdown. Tomorrow morning, I will be breaking that card down, and I'm give y'all some winners. Sleepily, that's a nice little card, bro. I ain't gonna lie, but the boy name is Jan Orbayo. He a Colombian boy, but he fighting out of Quebec. The boy is the biggest 140-pound dude I've ever seen in my life. And he nice. He okay. He quick. He got an offensive output. He like a boxer puncher, bro. If Emilio did what what's dude's name again?
Emiliano.
Yeah, the little funny looking boy. Yeah, I mean, he showed a lot of heart in that fight. But dude wasn't the toughest rusty nail I've ever come across. You know what I mean?
Oh, you talking about Quintana? You talking about his opponent?
Yeah.
Yeah, Quintana was pretty tough. His face just ain't hold up.
That's yeah. But his offense wasn't that great either.
No. First 6 rounds, it was even 3-3. He buckled Vargas in the second round too, though.
Yeah, but
his offense was good. No, I would say Vargas adjustments.
That's my point. But when his adjustments was he couldn't readjust after getting tired. So his offense fell off the mat because his accuracy fell off. So when he was trying to fire back, he was missing and getting recountered. So he ate more shots than he was actually able to get off later in the fight. And the reason why they stopped it because he wasn't landing when he was throwing.
Let me add on to that. Quintana actually had more success against Vargas in the first 6 rounds than probably
Yes.
anybody
Yes,
in
early.
his career. First half of the fight. So
I meant when I made that, I was talking about where it started wrapping up at when they made the call to stop it.
And the thing about it is with Quintana, that was his first fight in the US. That was number one. Number two, he's a rugged guy, but he's not known for top level in terms of his mental
boxing
game. Yes.
So
for him to have the
boxing.
success that he had, I wasn't surprised that his offense faded late.
Only thing I was surprised that Vargas showed some of that toughness that we saw from his dad, like back in the day.
Yeah.
So and I'm happy for that. I'm not a big fan of that family. You know, they done did some questionable things and said some questionable stuff. But as a boxing pundit, yes, he showed me something as far as that toughness. But again, we talking about, is he ready? We said that with Tahir Smalls. I don't think he's ready for top 10 unless you give me a matchup like this boy, like I said, Jean Orbaio, the boy like 14 or 15-0, 16-0, something like that. He got like 14 knockouts. The boy is nice, Colombian boy. He fighting out of Quebec. I'm trying to tell y'all, the boy nice. That is a great matchup. And why I say it's a great matchup is another reason. Ring Magazine does a lot of cards out there. What's getting ready to go on? You talked about it. Top Rank get ready to re-sign with ESPN. They need big fights. This is a big fight on a level of youngsters that they actually got film on, that they've actually kind of did minute work with. As far as we know Vargas and them that had their little contracts. I don't know how long that lasted, but these are guys that they could bring back and create big fights on a contender level, on a prospect level. That would be a major fight. Because the boy getting ready to fight one of their old dudes. He getting ready to fight yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll definitely check him out for sure. We'll definitely check him out. Fredo in the building. Big shout out to Fredo. He said, do you have thoughts on his Usyk Rico fight? Usyk, a 3-belt unified champion, barely fights once a year since 2019. And to see it wasted on a kickboxer is disappointing. Bro, to be honest with you, bro, it looked like Usyk trying to collect the 1 or 2 more big bags of money and just get up out of here. So as far as until he changes his moving in these boxing streets, Usyk is a non-factor at this point. When you facing kickboxers, and then he could possibly face Wilder after this if Wilder beats Chisora, which I think he won't. Like if those are his 2 next opponents, then I mean, it don't matter what you did in the past. It's what you're doing right now, and that's some nasty work. If those are going to be his last 2 opponents of his career, but if he want to go chase a couple bags and get up out of here, that's cool. I'm just not going to pay him no mind while he's doing it. You know what I'm saying? Last question before we get up out of here. Emiliano Vargas. Can he beat Sandor Martin right now?
No. He's not strong enough. You have to be able to hurt somebody like Sandor Martin. He still can box, and he actually got a little pop. He's been in the division a minute. And naturally, I think he's just a bigger dude. And I don't think he's ready for something like that. Sandor probably not even top 10, but he definitely should be around top 15.
He's in Ring Magazine's top 10. The last list that they have for 140, Sandor Martin, I think, was 9 on the list. Their list was kind of some nasty work.
Sandor Martin's not over Pulo. So where they have Pulo at?
Pollo was at
Pulo.
Yeah, I think he was at 6.
Okay.
They had the nasty part. The nasty part about the list is they had Gary Antoine Russell 7. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that list came out, but even if it came out before, you can't do that. That's a champion. They had Shakur. They had Shakur 1. They had Keyshawn like 4. So it was recent enough. So,
but that's what I'm saying. You talking about a dude. I mean, if you're gonna go skill, his skill to some of them other dudes' skill might not be as good, but his outcomes are better because he's a champion.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I thought the ranking was some nasty work. I gotta check the date on them rankings, but like I said, they had Shakur number 1, they had Keyshawn number 4, so that ranking was close enough. It was recent enough. Recent enough. I meant.
Nah, like I said, I need him against stiffer competition of that 14, 15 win type of guy. I need better. I that was cool against the Argentina dude. You know what I mean? But that's not a boxer. I need to, because you've been more of the boxer early in his career. Got some easy knockouts against cupcakes. You know how top rank do. You know what I mean? Yeah. They offer cupcakes like it ain't no such thing called a diet. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you know they're gonna move him. You know they're gonna move him slowly. Because they don't want to make the same mistake they did with Fernando Vargas
but
back in the day.
He to me he's a potential what's the 2 twin brothers from down there in Australia?
Oh, the Maloney's?
Yeah, he potential food for the division. Especially if they get Vargas.
Potential food? Ooh.
Vargas is potential food. But he ain't that good. He not that good.
You don't think so?
He not that good. He okay. He not that good.
Wow.
Not that good,
that, bro. I don't know about that.
I don't think none of them really that good.
At 21, you ain't like what you seeing at 21? He's advanced at 21, dog.
But he ain't got bro. When you talking about the Pulos, the Gary Russells, you gotta have some sting. He not fucking with the Japanese boy. He get knocked out by the Japanese boy.
I'm agreeing with you in the sense of he's not ready for top 10 action. I don't think he's ready for top 10 action. I'm talking projections. So I'm talking Emiliano Vargas. That's why 23.
But I just gave you an obstacle he can't even get over. So I don't think he's
they're
that
top
good.
10 guys though. Those are top 10 guys.
I just gave you a guy that's on his same level.
We got to do homework on him now.
I did my homework and I already presented him to you.
I ain't talking about you. I'm talking.
Well,
and you said he's fighting. You said he's getting ready to fight, right?
Yeah, he fight Thursday.
Yeah, we're gonna come. Yeah, we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back and we can talk about We can talk.
Yeah, it's on design. So anybody in the comments, they got their design description. Definitely check it out. But before y'all do that, check out my video dropping first thing in the morning.
Yeah, we can do that. But for 21, Vargas is nice at 21.
I give you that. I give you that. I ain't gonna hate.
He's to be his age, you know, the 17 wins, like 14, 15 knockouts or whatever. Yeah, he's doing a good job, man. He's doing a good job. They're moving him good, but like you said, like as far as him being ready for Sandor Martin, I'm not sure. At this point, but like I said, he is a young guy, so he's still learning. Still learning, man.
Yeah, I agree, Ty. He would have to beat someone like a Sandor Martin for me to believe that he's top 10 ready. You know, but the reason I mentioned Sandor Martin is because he's been tied in with Top Rank in the past. That's the same person. I think he beat Teofimo. He just didn't get the decision in that fight. So you still looking at another year and some change before they throw Vargas up against anybody of that caliber. But for 21, he's nice. He's nice at 21. I'll leave it at that. But do I gotta work Thursday? I think I gotta work. Damn, I wanted to do a live for the DAZN card on Thursday.
Man, look, I ain't gonna fraud, man. The Canadians put together a nice little card. I did my homework on the fighters, bro. It's a nice little scrap. You
gotta work.
Yeah, but I'm probably gonna slide up out of there just in time, just to make sure I can catch it. But real quick, the boy that also went had that nice little dig out with Diego Pancho. He on the card. He fighting a monster. he fighting this boy named Mendoza. This dark African Spanish cat. He a monster, bro. So
He's a dark African Spanish cat.
yeah, I think he from
I got you.
South America, but they all fighting out of Quebec. Like I said, the earlier Colombian boy, they all fighting out of Quebec. It's actually, like I said, a nice card. I gotta talk real quick about this one fight that's on there. They got the boy that got knocked out by Janabek. He got stopped by Janabek a couple years ago. His name's Steve Butler. The boy got hands. His name Bang Bang. It's an elegant nickname because either he get knocked out or he knocking somebody the fuck out. So his name being Bang Bang.
You don't know how to bang going.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. But I did a post and put up the numbers for his fight, man. So y'all go check that out on the gram, man.
Go definitely check out vlog videos. Make sure that you are actually subscribing to Boxing First Vlog. Then swing on over to In This Corner podcast. Do a sub over there. Circle the block. Get over to G5 Jeff TV. Hit a subscription over there as well. You know what I mean? But we're gonna end this thing off hour and a half strong. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we didn't cover everything. We tried to cover as much as we could, at this particular time. Ty Finney, appreciate you stopping through, man. Give them your social media. Let them know what you got cracking.
Yeah, man. Facebook, Ty Finney, IG, The Legend 3347, man. Like I said, I'm just a hardcore boxing fan. Always ready to hop on here and talk boxing, man. Always love to do it.
Appreciate you, bro. As always, man. Everybody favorite OG, Boxing First Vlog, man. Let them know what's popping with you, man. Social media, all that.
Well, I've been screaming about it most of the live. I'm breaking down at the Zan card because I'm gonna drop a little coin. So I'm gonna give y'all some leans and a couple picks that way. And next up, man, just catch me on the gram, man. I'm always dropping information. I talked about how Zuffa and them did not sign any females. What does that mean for female boxing? So I'm covering the sport from different angles. I'm a fan. I'm a pundit. I wrote for a well-known website. You know what I mean? Hopefully we can get that popping again, but we're not going to talk about that right now. But I'm all over the place with the sport, man. But check me out on Instagram. Use the #1 for the word first. And check me out on Threads. That's my Twitter. I'm getting it cracking on there. So follow me on there too, bro.
Big shout out to Boxing First Vlog, man. I'm all over the place, man. YouTube, IG, TikTok, you name it, Facebook, everything G5 Jeff TV. We got Throw the Hook podcast. We moving on that. You know what I'm saying? We're just moving as a unit. You know what I mean? To get to where we need to be at the end of the day. So we will be back on. I'm thinking Thursday might be able to do a little something. So let's lock in for Thursday. So on behalf of Ty Finney, the Legend, aka the In This Corner podcast, everybody favorite OG Boxing First Vlog, and your boy G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. Appreciate y'all stopping through the Throw the Hook podcast, episode 23. We will be back on Thursday. We appreciate y'all. Peace.
Peace.